What's up, everyone? So I decided to make a video talking about how to interrupt in chapters specifically. Why chapters is so important is because that actually unlocks a lot of bonuses, divination, discounts, and just stuff in general that allows a player to just get ahead in the game. Especially the idle rewards, that's really, really important. So to get ahead in chapters, what you really need is a DPS attack and an interrupter. Now, if you're not playing the interrupt game and you're just gonna auto it the whole way, then this video is probably not for you. But autoing honestly helps you get way ahead than you honestly should be able to. And getting way ahead in this game is very, very important. So how we're gonna do this is we're gonna show you why it's important to be able to interrupt. And I'm gonna first show you this video I have here of a run that I did in Supreme Fist, right? Now the enemy is 10 times stronger than me, right? My tank is Bison, my DPS is Dalzum, and my interrupter is Richanda. So you can use Richanda, you can use Bizangif, but we'll go over that later. The most important thing is you really need an interrupter, a DPS, and a tank, and the tanks are pretty easy, right? It's like this Bison, Honda, Goken, Zangief, Abel, whatever, right? Those are the basic tanks. And then the DPS is probably gonna be like Viper, Guile, Dalzum, Fire Adon, Oni, New Vega, whatever, right? Like there's not too many DPS you can pick from. But the problem is which interrupt do you pick, right? And usually it's gonna be Zangief if you know Zangief actually works. But yeah, once you have that, right, you can really like push the limit on what your team can actually get through, even if they're 10 times stronger than you, right? So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go over this match right here, right? If they do one super, I'm pretty much dead, okay? So the point here is to like not let them do a super, okay? So, you know, I'm using Dalzum as a DPS. I think he's one of the strongest DPS in the game for pushing, other than New Vega and Oni as well, right? So right here, we have Richanda C2. He interrupted the enemy right there, right? So basically the enemy tried to do a super. Richanda came down, just sat on them, interrupted the combo. The combo does not go off at all, right? And we get to keep going. Now I'm also doing some shenanigans here where I'm using Richanda tag, but we can talk about that in another video. That's not that important in this case, right? So the most important part in this case is that we're able to combo the enemy and they are able to not combo us, right? And basically I'm just stopping them from interrupting by interrupting them, and I'm just constantly just spitting fire at them and just slowly dying. Even though they're 10 times stronger than me, I'm still able to dish out enough damage to kill them because Dalzum is just that strong. And so is New Vega. Viper can probably do the same. Gal can probably do the same. Fire can do the same, right? But you know, doesn't matter how strong they are, right? We're gonna be able to kill them right now. 10 times is the limit of what you can actually do in this. Like if they're more than 10 times stronger than you, you're actually unable to start the fight, and that's when you know you're in a really good spot, right? So like basically right now, I am in Supreme Fist 537. Okay, the enemy here is 1 billion power, right? And I can't even start this fight. All right, so you know you're in a good spot when the game doesn't even let you hit fight. Okay, so now the question is, oh wow, you showed us one interrupter. Like, why would I need anyone else, right? You guys be Zangief, I can use Richanda, whatever. All right, I'm already getting through this game. Why do I care about a tier list when all I need is one? Well, the thing is, right, once you hit chapters 36, stage 24, you're gonna have to worry about more than just one team, right? You're gonna need 2 teams here. Okay, in this case for me, I'm in chapter 42, right? And I've been pretty lazy, right? Because once you get 5 teams, I really don't want to play. There's no motivation to really push once you're at 5 teams, right? Well, except for Wonderland just came out that now you kind of need some progression chapters to actually unlock Wonderland. But either way, so right now I'm fighting 5 teams, and you're going, you know what? You can't have 5 beat Zangiefs. You can't have 5 Richandas. You're gonna need 1 DPS at least, 1 tank at least, some supports, and 1 interrupter for each team, unless you muscle your way through it. But either way, so that's why this video is gonna be important, right? So you know how to interrupt each team so that when you're pushing above your weight, then you can actually kind of fight through your 2, 3, 4, 5 team battles without really like struggling. It's just gonna be a struggle regardless, right? So now let's see here. What I have here is a tier list maker. Okay, I put a bunch of units here and EX moves that can actually help you get through these stages. Okay, now I'm probably gonna try to go through these in order of the line. So the first character here we have here is Abel. Okay, now Abel's a very strong tank, very, very strong assist, very, very strong super and C1, but apparently his C2 can interrupt. Now I don't think people really use his C2 to interrupt, but let's just take a look really fast here of what it actually looks like. Okay, so slow down right here. So right here we have Abel doing his starting with super, and then we have a C1, and then Abel C2 interrupts right there. Now I'm gonna be honest right here, his interrupt is kind of garbage. No one really uses his interrupt because you rather use a C1, and if you use a C1 you can't use a C2. So I'm just gonna place Abel on the tier list. Where is my tier list? Let me see. Where is it? I'll probably put him in C tier. C tier is probably where you don't want to use. That's Cody. Never mind. That's Cody. Abel. There you go. You probably don't want to use Abel for his interrupt because he's so much useful doing other things, and his interrupt is not reliable, and it's a C2, and it hits the front guy. Whatever. Right. Next character. Cody. Now Cody is quite amazing, honestly. Cody hits the back line. Cody also throws a tornado that can interrupt. Cody also gives you a free super. Cody is a B tier character, and Cody can do so much. Okay, he hits the back line. Okay, whatever. I'll just show you the video here. So now Cody. Okay, let's see here. Where is my video at? Cody. Do I have more than one Cody video? I don't. I only have one Cody video. Well, looks like I did not plan this well. But either way, I'll show you something even better. Okay, so let's load this video. Why? Okay, so here we go. We have Cody here. Okay, now there's a couple things I want you to know. Cody, his super, he throws a chain and hits the back line. It can hit the middle too. That interrupts. Even better, it's free. It's a free super. Like, you can't beat free. If you don't go first because the enemy's faster than you, doesn't matter because you have a free super. The second thing that I don't think a lot of people are aware of is that chance on hitting a CC'd character. Okay, Cody can shoot out a tornado. Watch this right here. So right now, Cody is automatically, his super is free, right? He stuns Decapre. That's already an interrupt that can happen, right? But because he hit a CC character, there's a chance that he'll shoot a tornado out. You see that tornado right there? You see this tornado right here? It can interrupt. So look at this. That's wild. So Cody's super has 2 chances to interrupt and just stop their combo. And it's free. And it hits backline. This is just so good. Okay. And because of this, Cody, A tier. A tier. Straight up. It can do so many things. And he's a B character. You could use him at A rank and he'd be good. Just make sure he doesn't die. But yeah. Up next, we got who's this person? What's his name? Is this Baldwin? Is this Baldwin? I think that's Baldwin. Okay, hold up. All right, Baldwin. So apparently Baldwin has a C1 interrupt. This is actually kind of funny, right? So Baldwin, the C tier unit, okay, that no one uses. I bet you no one even knows his name, him or her. I mean, it's a robot. I can't even tell what it is. Right? Can actually interrupt. It's a C1, and it's reactable. So basically, what I mean reactable is when they do a super, you can kind of react to that and just interrupt with your own super in response. Right? There are some interrupters that cannot like react to, where you kind of have to preemptively do it. Baldwin is one of where you can actually react to. So same for Cody, and same for what was on my tier list, and same for Abel. You cannot react to. Abel, you kind of have to preemptively do it. So Baldwin here can C1, super react, smash. I think that's an AoE. I'm not sure, but it definitely interrupted Dudley there. So, I mean, as a C tier unit that can interrupt, I feel like, and it interrupts frontline, I feel like he's not bad. Problem is a C tier unit. So, he's definitely here in the C tier because, let's be real, no one really uses C tiers. Okay, so and I don't plan on using Baldwin ever. There's so many better choices. This is a tier list, so I would put him at A right now. But because it's a tier list and we have so much to go through, this person's probably going. He's in front of Abel. Don't get me wrong. He's in front of Abel, but he's still C tier. Okay, up next we have We got Beast Zangief. Oh Jesus. Okay. Now Beast Zangief here, okay? Beast Zangief here is so good. Okay. Now, unfortunately, SCA region just launched, and Beast Zangief does not work the same in SCA region. But in all other cases, Beast Zangief is the best stunner, pusher, progressor, fighter pretty much in the game. Because his C2 tornado, okay, watch right here. And okay, the best part is it's reactable. Okay, it's reactable. In other words, when they do a super, you can react to it with your C2. It stuns them. It stuns everyone. It slows them down. Okay? Right there. It slows them down. It stuns. It sucks them in. It stuns them. And his 6 card makes it so that when they're stunned, they take 60% more damage. So it's so good. It is so good. Okay? It's unbelievable how good it is. The best. Okay? So good that I'm placing this at S tier. SSS tier. I'm sorry, SSS tier, okay? Now, problem is, now if SCA version doesn't have him work this way, he bleeds instead of stun, so, you know, he just doesn't exist on this list for SCA. Other than that, amazing. Amazing. Okay, up next we have Bison. Oh, Bison. I bet you a lot of people don't know that Bison can actually stun. Yeah, I know, it's kind of crazy, right? So, let's take a look at Bison really fast. Bison here. Now, the way Bison works is his C3 can actually stun you if you have Weaken on you. Weaken, you can get Weaken on you if someone else puts it on you, or if Bison puts it on you from his super. So basically, Bison here can do a super which puts Weaken on everyone right now. Like you can see the little radioactive symbol on their on top of them, right? So that's Weaken. And when he C3s, he can stun them. And when you can stun them, you can interrupt them, right? So basically right here, C3, pop. Right there, that interrupt right there, that pop interrupts them. So basically when they super, all right, and you know, you preemptively time the Weaken and the C3, you can interrupt them. It's a thing. It's not reliable. You're not going to use it to interrupt them really. It's more of a nice to have kind of, right? So I would say Bison, I'll put you on the B really, right? It's kind of a nice to have. It's like, you know, I'm not going to use you to interrupt a combo really, but because you're Bison and everything else you do is really, really good, the stun is a nice to have. So I'll put him on B. And up next we have Blanca. Oh wait, you didn't even see that. Okay, there. Sorry about that. All right, up next we have Blanca here. Okay, so Blanca, believe it or not, can stun and interrupt. I would say it's not that great, okay? But let's take a look at the video here. So Blanca. Look at this. Okay, Blanca. So what Blanca does is when you hit Blanca with his 6 cards, you need 6 cards out. He has a chance to interrupt and stun you for half a second. So basically right here, right? Hit Blanca. You saw that? Fei Long. Try to C1 Blanca. Let's watch this again right here. Hana hits him, doesn't go off. Oh well. Fei Long hits him with C1. Blanca just counterattacks, interrupts the combo. I would say not bad, right? He's a Thunder character. There's not too many Thunder interrupters, so if you have a Thunder tower you need to push, Blanca might be your man. So I would say Blanca, B tier, because you can't control it. It's kind of a nice to have. Mainly, you just can't control it, right? It's kind of one of those things where, like, well, I hope it goes off. If it doesn't, oh, well, it's gonna be kind of bad. So I would say B tier, because like you're not gonna really rely on him to interrupt, but you know it's kind of nice when he does. So there we go. Up next we have Charming Dudley. Okay, so I don't think a lot of people are aware of this, but it doesn't say it in his kit. It doesn't say it anywhere in his kit, but his super can actually interrupt, and his super 100% interrupts. Now, what I mean by that is, if you do it and it lands, it will interrupt, okay? And it doesn't say it anywhere. The problem is, there's a lot of interrupts in this game that if it just works and it doesn't say it works, then it won't work on certain stages. And it's gonna be a lot. That's gonna be the case for a lot of these characters, right? Where it can interrupt, it just doesn't interrupt on stages that ends in 20 and 40. Now, why is that? No one knows. It's just how it is. Okay. So let me just show you a video really quick. So we have Charming Dudley here, right? Charming Dudley. All right. So check this out. Charming Dudley. Fighting against Mexef. Let's look at that one more time. Interrupt. Just punch them. Interrupt. Okay. Problem is, this is preemptive. You can't just react with his super. Like if they do something and you want to interrupt it, you cannot react. You kind of have to do it preemptively. But it's 100%. It will interrupt, except for stages 20 and 40. Except for stages that end in 20 and 40. But still, I think it's not bad. And it's one of those things that no one really does, right? Like no one sees this. Like it's a thing apparently, right? So, hold on, let me fix this again. Really, hold on. Where's my bar? Where's my bar? I don't see my bar. There we go. Okay. So, where would I put Dudley? I kind of want to put him on A right now. All right, he's better than B because it's 100% interrupt, which is the crazy part. There's not too many things in this game that's 100%. Okay, even B Zangief is not 100%. But you know, because it's preemptively, it makes it a little harder to use. But you know, it hits frontline, it interrupts 100%. I think he's A. Up next, we got oh jeez, Dante EX. Okay, so this whoa. Okay, I don't even know how to explain this. I don't even have a video. Do I even have a video for this? I do not have a video for this. Okay. What Dante does? This right here, Dante. It's an EX move. It's probably one of the worst EX moves in the game, honestly. This is the only redeeming factor of this move. Okay, at 3 stars and at 5 stars, he summons his bike. He comes out and he runs over the entire enemy crew. And what it does is it makes the front person go back. It makes the front person move to the back line for like a few seconds, right? Absolutely useless. But it has a chance, 3 stars, 50% chance to stun that person. And you can use it reactively, which is wild. Okay. And 5 stars, 100% chance. So the fact that you can control it and it hits the front line makes it really, really good. But because it's a terrible EX move, no one probably has it, let alone 5 stars, right? It's like probably one of the rarest EX moves in the game because it came out so long ago. No one actually rolled for it. Definitely no one rolled 5 stars on it. Probably one person out there did. It's gonna be like one of those things you never ever see. But because it's a 100% chance to stun, hits the front line, controllable, reactable, A tier. I know. The only time you actually might be able to see it is in draft mode. Draft mode gives you like a random set of EX moves, so you might see this in draft mode. So, and it actually works. It actually stuns the front character. Funny, right? I know. All right, next we have Dante. Oh, speaking of Dante's EX, now we have Dante. Okay, so Dante. Now the reason why I have a black and white Dante and a black and white Evo Ryu picture is because I don't have them at S rank, right? So I have them, but I just don't have them at S rank. That's why these images I took are black and white. So Dante here. Let's really show you guys what Dante is capable of here. Okay. Dante, okay, the man. Check this out. His super, when you have 6 cars, basically you need him at SSS, which not a lot of people have, so he's a very, very rare character. His 6 car makes it so that his super has a 50% chance to freeze every target. Freeze every target. Okay, watch this. Interrupt. Bam. Look at that, they're frozen. They are frozen. Now, the thing is, you kind of have to use this somewhat proactively. You can't really use it reactively, but you kind of just use it slightly before they super, right? They all freeze, or some of them freeze, right? And the best part is, even if not all of them freeze, the ones that do freeze won't be able to continue the chain, right? So it can interrupt, it can stop, it can do it. Just look, they just do it. I'm sorry, does it armor break too? Did it just also armor break? What doesn't this do? How good that is. Yeah, it defense down. It defense down, freezes them, right? Even if it doesn't hit the person that starts the super, it hits everyone else so that they can't continue the chain. So good, all right? And it works on stages 20 and 40. So good, so good. On top of that, his assist can also stun. What I mean by that, the way his assist works is that when he's on someone as an assist, let's say right now, I have him on Viper as an assist, okay? If your assist get knocked out, he will stun the person that knocked you out. Now, it's not so great because you have to die for it to happen. But you know what? It's still a freebie. It's an assist. Who cares, right? Look at this. Watch this. Viper. Boom. Viper self-interrupts. Look at that because you died. But I don't think it's off the combo. It still goes on, right? But you know what? Viper's still stunned. And if Viper wants to C2, ain't happening. So I think it's a nice to have, right? So Dante actually does several things here. Dante stuns when he's an assist. So Dante freezes. Not bad. I would say Dante, S tier. S tier for sure. Okay. Too bad no one has Dante. That's the problem. Okay, next we have DJ. Oh my, DJ. Okay, so apparently DJ can actually stun. I don't think anyone uses DJ, unfortunately. Like I actually don't think anyone actually uses DJ, right? But DJ can actually stun. So DJ, I think his C3 can stun, right? As a super, we need to C1 into C. Oh, this is C2. Never mind. C2. Okay, C2 stuns, right? Problem is, you can't really proactively do it. Reactively do it. You kind of have to preemptively do it, right? So like, it can stun, right? His C2, it can stun. It can interrupt. I would just say it's not reliable. All right, no one uses. There's no reason to use DJ really. He kind of sucks. But you know, he's a fire unit. If you need a fire unit that can interrupt, he's your man. All right, he doesn't hit back line. I think he only hits the front line, or who hits whoever. He hits whoever he's hitting to interrupt, right? So he's not gonna like he's not gonna interrupt his combo and hit someone else that jumps in the front and combo, right? He's only hitting that one person, and that one person at the end of the hit will get interrupted, which is unfortunate. So is he good? Not really. So I'm just gonna straight up put him into C tier at the end of C tier too, because no one's ever gonna use him to interrupt. No one's actually gonna use him anyways. He just has it. All right, up next we got Dudley. So Dudley C1 can actually interrupt. And I would say it's not that reliable, right? So let's take a look here really fast. Dudley is C1. It can interrupt. Unfortunately, you have to preemptively do it. Like how early I had to do that, right? I had to do it so early. It does not AOE, I don't think. I think it only hits one character, right? But you know what? It works. It's not 100%, but it works. Okay. Is Dudley a wind? What is he? Is he a wind or? I think he's a wind, right? No. Let me check really fast. Dudley is. Let me check really fast. Fire. Dudley's fire. Dudley is fire. So hey, if you need more fire interrupters, we got Dudley, we got DJ. Unfortunately, Dudley's like kind of hard to do. It works. It's just kind of hard to do. So Dudley, you go. Let me think about this. Where would I put Dudley? C tier. Better than DJ. Still not good. No one uses Dudley. The end. Up next, we got El Forte. Oh, Jesus. Okay, Forte. El Forte. So, all right, let me think about this. Where we got El Forte here. What his interrupt is, if he were to get a debuff, when he gets a debuff, he will interrupt with his little chest press. I forgot what that move is called in Street Fighter 4. It was like Tostada press, quesadilla bomb. I forgot what it's called, right? But it's basically one of the most toxic moves he had in Street Fighter 4, which is hilarious that it's in this. It's his counterattack here. All right. When he gets a debuff, he will counterattack with a stun with a slight cooldown. Okay. Problem is that usually by the time that happens, it doesn't matter, and the rest of the combo will keep going, right? And it's unreliable. So, all right, watch here. I think he already did his first stun. Did he already did it first one right here? Even you fireballs him. Did it happen? Let me see. What? Did it happen? I'm not even sure if it happened or not. Yeah, there it is. Evil you puts a debuff on him, right? And he stuns Honda. Thanks. What? Talk about useless, okay? But still, it's a free stun, okay? Problem is you have to use a Forte. No one really uses them, okay? The only time I find this useful is when the C3 puts a debuff on you. So watch this. So Viper puts some fire debuff on El Forte, and El Forte just counter stuns Viper, interrupts her C3. So I mean, it's a random stun. It just happens. It interrupts sometimes, and I'm just gonna say El Forte. What does it say? I'll just put you in the question mark because number one, I'm not gonna use you to interrupt. I'm not gonna use you ever. Your stuff is unreliable, and when it stuns, it doesn't even really interrupt when you want it to. So I'm just gonna say, like, I don't know what your role is in this game, but you're there in the question marks. Okay, up next we got Evil Ryu. Oh, Evil Ryu, the secret tech here. Okay, so Evil Ryu. Oh boy. Let's take a look really fast here. Evil Ryu can stun when his HP is less than 60% and the enemy does a C3. I know there's a lot of conditions here, right? So basically, it's not too hard to go off. It's not too hard for it to happen, right? Because the fight starts, he's already losing 20% of his health because of what he does, right? All he needs to do is lose a little bit of health and has the enemy C3. What that means is the enemy is basically ending their combo. So that means they're already super C1, C2. And if you're not dead already, C3. All right, but when they C3, Evil Ryu will do a Raging Demon to them, which is kind of funny, right? I feel like this is like an anti-Bison thing, right? Because look right here, Evil Ryu, right? Less than 60% health, right? And now Bison's gonna C3. I don't know when Bison ever C3s in any real match, right? Usually someone else is C3 and Bison comes in. So Evil Ryu does a Raging Demon because Bison's C3ing here, I think, all right? Interrupts and kills Bison. So you know what? It's not bad, actually, I think. Unfortunately, it's not really reliable, right? You would think that, you know, this might be the anti-New Vega tech, right? Because New Vega kind of looks just shredding everyone's to bits right now. So it is possible that your Evil Ryu can stop Vega. It's just not very consistent or reliable. But it's a thing. It is a thing. Just not reliably consistent. So I will put Evil Ryu B tier. Slightly better than Blanka because when you're using him, you know what you're doing. I think he's really good on top of what else he can do. Gives your whole team 20% damage. He's a trigger unit. He adds DPS to your whole overall team. And he just counter stuns whenever they C3, which I feel like is just going to get better in the future. So, you know, he's not bad enough to be a C. He's not good enough to be A. He's just kind of in the B because he's just nice to have. It just happens. Not bad. Okay, so up next we got Fashion Blanka. Okay, so apparently Fashion Blanka can stun. He can interrupt in the C1. I've never been able to reproduce it, but I've seen replays of it in the Discord. So it's very hard for me to do because I've never done it and I can't do it, but it's possible. So I'm just gonna put him in the question marks here because I don't know how to do it. It's timing must be really, really weird. It doesn't say he can interrupt, but he can apparently. Question mark it is. Fei Long next. Fei Long, his super interrupts apparently. I don't think anyone knows this or anyone cares because he's usually used as an assist or as a C1 buffer. But you know what? If you need a fire stunner, hey, Fei Long can stun. Fire apparently has a lot of interrupts. Apparently, look at that. Bam, interrupt, combo done, frontline interrupter. What more can I say? Fei Long is really good. You can boom, 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 boom. Problem is, you kind of have to proactively do it or preemptively do it. You can't really do it on reaction, which is, I feel like, what really makes an interrupt really, really good is when you can reactively do it, right? So, Fei Long, not bad. Not that great either. I'm going to put you in the C tier. Probably here. 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 There you go. That's right. Baldwin is in front of Fei Long because effectively they do the same thing, except Baldwin, you can react. Fei Long, you can't really react. You kind of have to preemptively do it. So, Baldwin, you're still pretty good. Next, we got Gary. Oh, Gary. Gary. Okay. Who's Gary? Well, Gary apparently is a C. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, there you go. I don't know if you guys were seeing a tier list earlier. Yes, Fei Long before Baldwin. Okay, up next we have Gary. Who is Gary? Okay, Gary. Gary apparently is another C tier unit, just like Baldwin. Okay, you see him standing right there? He's right there in the middle with that big giant mace. Okay. Look at that. Look at that. I think he just did an AoE slap on everyone. Look at that. Watch that. You have to preemptively do it though. That's the problem. Boom! Let's look at that one more time, Gary. boom. Look at that. He just hit Sagat, and he hit Dudley. I don't know why it says evade, but apparently he stunned him. So wait a second, did he just stun Sagat and Dudley? I'm not even sure what happened, but he definitely hit 2 of them because I can see 2 hit marks there, right? But you know what? Look at that. AoE interrupt in the front line. So, reminds me of Rich Honda, honestly. Reminds me of Rich Honda. But problem is, it's preemptive, so, you know, not that great. And his C tier, so it's kind of useless. Like, you have no reason to ever use him. So I'm going to put him right here. Probably like that. Above Fei Long, yes, because he's Gary. He has that cool factor, but you know what? You're never going to use him, so either way. Up next, we got Gen. Now, Gen here, I don't think anyone ever uses Gen, unfortunately. Gen can interrupt with a C1 in his initial crane stance. I think it's crane, right? So basically, it's reactable, which is nice. It's a 20% chance interrupt rate, which is terrible. But you know what? It works. It works, right? You do it on reaction, right? When you see them flash, you just C1 with them, and it interrupts. So it's not bad. What's bad is it's a C1. What's bad is it's a 20% chance. So that's kind of bad. No one really uses Gen either. So, but you know what? Early on, you might use him for his interrupt, even though I honestly don't know what else he does because all his moves are like paragraphs long. So I don't really understand what else he does. So I'm gonna put Gen here on the C tier as well. But you know what? A little bit better than Fei Long and Abel because you can control it. It's reactable. It's just 20%, which is really, really low. And you have to use Gen, which no one really uses. Up next, we got Guy. Ooh, Guy. Okay, so Guy, no one knows this, but Guy can actually interrupt with his super. It doesn't say it, which is funny. It doesn't say it, but it works. It's a very, very low chance, though, but it works. And what's so special about this is, now Guy's super hits the back line. And there are many times in this game where you can't reach Guile, you can't reach Dalsum, you can't reach Poison, unless you just retry over and over again with B Zangief until it has reaches, right? But you know, in some cases you don't have B Zangief, or B Zangief doesn't work in your region, right? And you kind of have to hit the back line, and Cody's too far, all right? Guy to the rescue. Guy, his super, now because it doesn't say stun, right, and it's an interrupt, it probably won't work on stages 20 and 40, but it's a reactable super you can use. So basically, when Poison supers, like this, you just react with Guy. Guy will sometimes interrupt the back line. Look how good that is. Let's do it again. Let's watch it again. Poison super. Guy. Look at that. Look at that. Now the problem is it's a very, very, very low chance. Like I feel like it's like 15 or 10% chance that actually works. But when it works, that's all you need. You just need to interrupt and it's good. Problem is you're probably not gonna be able to do this more than once you're probably not gonna be able to do like 2 interrupts in a row, unlike Beast Zangief or other interrupters where it's kind of reliable where you can keep kind of interrupting over again. Like for instance, right, like in that previous run where I did in Supreme Fist, where like I interrupted the team over and over and over again before I killed them, you're probably not gonna be able to do that with Guy, right? So, but in some cases where you just only need 1 interrupt to get to the stage, no, Guy might be your person, right? So, Guy, I'll put you. Where would I put you? B tier. The top of B tier, because you know you're not too reliable, but it works. It hits the back line. And you know what? Guy's not that bad either. Okay, I mean I don't use him that much, but he does have uses. So he's not A tier material, but you know what? He's decent. Up next we got Honda. Whew, Honda. All right. Well, Honda. Let's take a look at Honda here. Honda is so good. Okay, his C1 can interrupt. His C1 interrupts the front line. He's a tank. He's a basic unit, which means everyone has them. His stun chance is really high. I think it's like 40% chance, right? So basically, and it's reactable. So basically, when their front line or whoever they're gonna jump in the front does a move, you can react with Honda C1. Most of the time, it will hit. Well, not most of the time. Many times, it will stun them. And in this case, because his chance is not too bad, you are able to reliably do it over and over again, honestly. So if you don't have Beast Zangief, which I would say in SEA, Beast Zangief is not really a thing for stunning, I would say Honda S tier. I will put him up here with S tier, okay? Because he is kind of reliable. He's a tank. He can block fireballs with his bullet wall. Probably one of the most reliable tanks, even till this day, for the people that have been playing this game for a year. I would say Honda S tier. Especially when you're looking at like your multi-team fights, right? You're like wondering, who do I use for like team B, team C, team 4, all right? You're gonna be like V Zangief, probably Honda. All right, Honda's pretty up there in terms of using him to interrupt and keep moving on. Up next, Makoto. One of the worst characters in the game. One of, if not one of the worst characters in the game. I would say DJ is probably up there too. But Makoto apparently can interrupt. Now look at this here. Makoto, I think it's Makoto C. It's her C2, right? It can interrupt, but it's not reactable. It's very slow, and it's preemptive. So yeah, it's a preemptive thing. So it works. I just don't think it's a thing that people actually use. I don't know why you would ever use Makoto over anyone else, but hey, it's a thing. It can interrupt. I just wouldn't use her to interrupt because I don't know why you would. Where would I put Makoto? Above DJ. Yeah, above DJ. Below Dudley. Yeah, I would do that. Okay, up next we have MH Ken. For those fortunate enough to actually own an MH Ken, because he was literally week 2 of release. So unless you played from the beginning, you probably won't have him unless you use him as a mercenary. But MH Ken, Monster Hunter Ken, can actually interrupt. His C1, I'm sorry, his super interrupts the front line. It interrupts the front line. It's reactable too, and it's like a 30% chance stun rate. So I would say it's not bad at all. Boom! Look at that. Looks like it hurts too. And he's MH Ken. He's cool. He's strong. He interrupts. He stuns. What can he do? One of the best collab units in the game. Where would I put him? A for sure. A, maybe even S. Not really though. But A. Okay. Maybe S honestly. But I want to put him at A because I don't think too many people use him to interrupt. They use him for everything else honestly. But the fact that you have an interrupt is kind of cool. Up next, we got Nero. Okay, so third collab. Well, second and third collab. Nero here is a unit here that not a lot of people know. Well, I guess a lot of people know now. But Nero, it doesn't say his C1 can actually interrupt. His C1 after you get 5 demon stacks, right? Right now, look at him. He has like that little alien head above his head. It has 2 stacks. Once he has 5 stacks, his C1 can interrupt. The weird thing, it interrupts anyone in the front line, and that means it hits everyone in the front line too. If there are multiple people in the front line, he will hit everyone. 100% chance interrupt. Okay, unless it's stage 20 and 40, right? So it's one of those things where it doesn't work on stage 20 and 40. But still, if they're somewhere in the front line, and it's kind of a wide range here, right? Look at that. Boom. Interrupt. Look, who was it? It was a Sagat doing the super? No, it's Dudley doing the super. So Dudley's doing the super, right? It hits Sagat. It hits Dudley. It pulls in Dudley, but it just interrupts. 100% chance interrupt, which is the crazy part. So he's really good, I think. And he was a legendary character, so I mean, himself as a character is also really good. His assist is really good. Him as a tank is really good. He supports your team pretty good, and he interrupts. Nero, S tier. Straight up S tier. S tier. If I were to Nero S tier. If I were to think, where would I put Nero on my team B or on my team 2, right? If it's not stage 20 or 40, absolutely Nero's in there. Absolutely. Okay. Up next, we got Poison. Poison, hey. So Poison doesn't really interrupt. She kind of does, but not really. What she does is she silences the team. Okay, so is this Poison? It's Poison here. So what Poison does is, right, her super silences the team. I think her C3 does too, I forgot. But the problem with that is, like, the nice part is, like, they do a super, you silence the whole team, right? You look at it here, there's the little silence symbol above all their heads, right? The problem is the super still goes off, but the rest of the team, they can't do anything because they're silenced. So the chain can't continue. And she's a poison unit, so she's a thunder unit, right? So like, she's pretty much required for like Thunder Tower. So you have your silence there. So problem is you can't interrupt really. You can't like stop the initial chain. You can't stop the combo. The super has to go off, but the rest of it will not go off. So because of that, I'm probably gonna deduct a few points from her. But she's still really good, honestly. And if you're fighting against Guy, and she's always in a real line, once Guy supers, right, and you super would get in reaction, so scoot back. He'll do like a little scoot, right? And Guy will miss, and the rest of the team will get silenced. So I think she has that case too, because Guy's kind of really annoying. Guy's like really annoying to interrupt, but she's actually useful for that too. So because of that, I'm gonna put Poison in the A tier, I think, above Charming Dudley, because her silence is AoE, and it can avoid Guy, and she's a DPS, so I think that gives her a few extra points. So I think she's pretty good. Up next we got Rich Honda. Oh boy, Rich Honda, what can't you do? What can't you do, Rich Honda? So as you saw from my earlier Rich Honda video with the Supreme Fist, Rich Honda apparently can just do everything, right? So let's watch that one more time. Hold on. Look at that. Defense down. Interrupt. Did it even interrupt? I'm pretty sure it interrupted there. It just didn't even say it. It just did it. Okay, so Rich Honda. Oh, there it is. Wait, no. Hold on, what am I doing here? No, that was super. There's the interrupt. There's the interrupt. Okay, so crazy part about this, 100% interrupt. 100% interrupt. Number one, Rich Honda is already one of the best characters in the game. Number two, his C2 100% interrupts anyone in the front line, kind of like Narrow, okay? Problem is, it doesn't work on stages 40 and 20. So that's the drawback, but it 100% interrupts. And he's a tank, and he gives you meter. He's so good. He does everything. Everything. So unfortunately, he doesn't work on stages 20 and 40, so kind of sucks. But I'm not going to dock him on that because he's just so good all around. I will put him S tier. S tier. He's like Narrow, but better. He's like Narrow, but better. Okay. Up next, we got Rufus. Rufus is a B tier unit, like Cody, right? So let's take a look at what Rufus can actually do here. Rufus, what can you actually do here? So let's look at this. I think it's a super. His super, right? He basically does his ultra from Street Fighter 4. Okay. It takes a million years. It takes a million years for him to actually finish the combo, right? But if you're able to preemptively time this way long before they super, his what do you call it? His Raise the Rufus move, it will actually stun and interrupt. Look at that. Boom. Okay. I know, it's funny, right? It takes forever for it to happen. It's unreliable, but it can't interrupt. And that's the point of this video, to show you what can and cannot interrupt. So, Rufus, where did I put you? I'm gonna put you in a question mark tier, because I'll put you above Blanca. I'll actually put you above Blanca, because I would never ever use this character ever in any reason for anything, not even to interrupt. So he's just there because why does he even interrupt? Why does he exist? He's just food for other units. But because he can't interrupt, I'm gonna put him in this list because he deserves that chance. Unfortunately, he's gonna be in the question mark chance because I don't see why anyone ever use him. So Seth, okay, Seth. What do you mean Seth? Why is Seth in this game? He's not even in this game. Whoa, you know what? Is Seth in this game? Well, let me show you right now, right? So go to Fighters, go to Gallery, go to Trials. Where was he? Feral Sagat, Bio, Trials, go into the upper left corner. Seth is actually there, apparently, as Ken. Look at that, all right? Look at that. Let's go, Ken. I mean, Seth, I'm sorry. And if you look at his C2, apparently it says it stuns, it silences, it does all the things that you wanted it to do. But you know what? Every time I've tried this, I am unable to get a stun or a silence. So I don't think he actually works. Well, clearly it doesn't work because he's not even supposed to be in the game, right? But the kit reads like it should. It doesn't in trials. So I'm just gonna say question mark, because it sounds like it's really good, but it doesn't work. But this stuff is all temp because look at that. It's in trials, he's not even supposed to be there, right? So I'm gonna leave him there for now. Okay. Up next, we got Sagat. Okay, Sagat. So Sagat actually has 2 stuns. So Sagat, let me see. Sagat has a stun on super. Sagat also has a stun on C3. So let's take a look here. So Sagat. Boom! Look at that, right? He does his classic combo, right? That interrupts. Unfortunately, you kind of have to preemptively do it a little bit, just a little bit, just preemptively do it just a little bit. Okay, and it can stun. So that's not bad. But his C3, right? His C3 also kind of preemptively do it a little bit too. Right? But even though it's preemptively, right? He can pop off, right? His C3 can pop off. So he goes tiger, 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 chance on hit tiger, right? Look at this. Look at this mech set. He has 2 stuns on him. I don't even know who in this game can put more than 1 stun on you at the same time. He has 2 stuns on him. So because of that, I think Sagat, as a tank, he's pretty strong. As a C3, he's pretty strong. And because he has 2 stuns, he's actually pretty good, right? So I would put him at the... I would put him at A, honestly. I think he's pretty good at A. Like, currently, I don't have a built Sagat, but I don't really need a built Sagat because I have so many other stunners. But as a stunner and as a tank and as DPS, he's pretty good. Up next, we have Street Poison. Street Poison. Now, Street Poison, actually really, really good. Okay, so now Street Poison doesn't really interrupt. Well, actually, no, she does, actually. So let's take a look here. Street Poison can do a couple things here. Number one, other than being the best support in the game, right, because she adds so much damage to you, she can interrupt. So let's take a look here. Check this out. It didn't even say interrupt. It didn't even do the super flash from Honda. It just ate his super, and now you own super. You have Honda on your team, okay? So the hard part is you have to way preemptively do this, right? You cannot do this reactively. But if you can time this right, you just take their super. His super just never comes out, and you just take them for a bit. Also, another thing, right? I like doing this part even more. I like just using their character and having their super come out regardless, right? Because in this case, right? Let's say you're fighting against Dudley, you're fighting against evil Mad Ryu like this right here, right? What you want to do, right, is steal their tank. Okay, you steal their tank, like right here. Street Poison steals their tank. Mad Ryu, Dudley, whoever, right, attacks their own tank, kills their own tank. Now they're down 1 character. You're like, hey, this is even better than interrupt. I just ate your super. So Street Poison, number 1, can interrupt. Number 2, can use their character to take damage for you. Number 3, amazing support. Number 4, you can use her as an A rank. Like, you don't even need her decked out. She doesn't even need cards. She doesn't even need to be wearing gear. Okay, so Street Poison, where would I put you? SSS tier. Okay, so good. Okay, next, Summer Elena. Now, Summer Elena, it doesn't really say this anywhere, but apparently when you call her out with by using her as an assist, or using her assist, using her fighting spirit. So basically she needs to be SS at least, right, to have a fighting spirit. She comes out and does a little dance, and right, she does like 20 million kicks and does a dance. That kick can interrupt. So let me show you here. Summer Elena, let's see here. Right, you kind of have to preemptively do this a little bit. You preemptively do it. She comes out, she does some kicks, right, interrupts, right, on top of doing all the stuff that she normally does, right? Like, tanks hits, buffs your team, heals, all that stuff. She also interrupts. So is it reliable? No, but it's kind of like Bison, where it's really nice to have, right? So it's one of those things where like you use her in like PvP, or you use her in like whatever, right? And she just comes in and interrupts the other team. You're like, hey, thanks. But because it's one of those things where it's not said, I would put her at like, she doesn't work on stages 20 and 40. So I would kind of put her in like, the B tier. It's kind of like a nice to have, right? It's like, she's already a really strong support. The fact that she interrupts is really nice to have, but it's not really reliable. So I would not really consider using it like as an interrupter. Still better than all these people down here though, because these people you just never ever really want to use as an interrupter at all. So up next we got Tanuki Whirl. So apparently I've not been able to reproduce this, but some people have. And when you use Tanuki Whirl, you can actually stun and interrupt. Well, not stun. You can actually interrupt the opponents, right? It kind of displaces them. So when they super and you Tanuki Whirl, it can interrupt him. I've not been able to reproduce this, but apparently it's a thing. So I'm gonna put this right here in the question mark, because I don't know. It's a thing, but it's not for me. I don't know. Up next, we have, that looks like Summer Yun. Okay, now, what are you saying? Summer Yun's not in this game. Like, what are you talking about, right? Now, so, well, Summer Yun apparently is in this game, right? Back to the trial realms, right? You go back here where we found Seth, right? You go to Witch Jury. Witch Jury, where are you, Witch Jury? Witch Jury, Trials. You go up here in the corner, I think also another spot as well. You're gonna see a Summer Yun here. Let me just move my camera really fast. Look at that. So you got Summer Yun right here with the awesome Ken animations, right? Yeah, you dance, Ken. You dance. Okay, you dance off the screen. Either way, second skill, apparently 100% chance, 100% basic chance to stun. I don't even know what a basic chance is, right? But it's just 100% chance to stun for 3 seconds. So what that does is when you look at this, and let me turn back my camera on. Summer Yun, right here. Oh, no, oh, hold on. So so we have Ken, because you know Ken's like this temp placeholder animation, right? This boom charges into them, knocks them into the wall, and interrupts them. Okay. Okay. The best part is reactable. It's one of those reactable interrupts, which I think is really nice, right? So assuming this works the way it is, assuming this works the way it sounds and reads, and not like Seth where it reads and doesn't work. I'm gonna say this is really good. Okay, it's a 100% chance. I would put them up there with Honda, but because we're not sure if this is final, and this is like one of those things where like, hey, is this actually gonna work? And he's not really in the game yet. I'm gonna put him in question mark. Really high question mark, because this is pretty good, but in question mark because we don't know if this actually gonna work when it comes out. So up next we have Charm. So Toxic Love EX move, I would say is just as good as Street Poison stuff, right? It can steal you, it can steal the character, it can interrupt, it can make them hit each other. SSS, pretty much Street Poison, but without Street Poison, you can just use it anywhere. So basically like using Street Poison on one team, using Toxic Love on another team, pretty good. Up next we got Zangief. Okay, Zangief. Great tank, great tanking the team because he reduces team damage by a lot. Apparently he can also stun too. His super actually stuns here. Let's take a look really fast. So Zangief's super stuns. Look at that. Interrupt stuns. That's kind of hilarious, right? So he grabs the front character and just boom, stuns. It can't reactively do it, so it's gonna be one of those preemptive things. Reliable, not really. Is it funny? It's hilarious. So I'm gonna put him probably in the C list, like I don't know, like right there, right? Like not amazing, not great. He just does it. I'll never use it honestly to stun. But yeah, that's my tier list, guys. So like, if you ever are wondering how to complete, like who to use on your team 2, 3, 4, 5 to interrupt, because interrupting is probably the most important thing other than tank and DPS. All right, like having a DPS check is like one thing. It's like you're already doing pretty well if you're at a DPS check. Finding a tank's not too hard, right? There's already like a bunch of basic tanks that you can use, like Bison, Honda, you know, Sagat if you have Zangief, Abel, Suit Abel, all those people are decent tanks, right? The problem is trying to find a way to not die to a super or a combo or whatever the other team's killing you with. And that usually involves using an interrupt, right? And I think this tier list right here, like these, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things in the SSS tier, right? Now, most of the time, you're probably gonna want an interrupter that can interrupt multiple times, right? Not just one interrupt, because if you can already beat them by just interrupting once, you're probably not really struggling, right? The part where you're struggling is when you have to interrupt more than once, right? Like once or twice or 3 or even 4 or 5 times, right? So that's where Beat Zangief comes in. That's where Dante comes in. That's where Richanda comes in. Honda, Nero, Street Poison, all those people, Cody even, right? All those people reliably interrupt multiple times, which is the most important part, right? Is when you're stuck in a part where you just can't kill them one or 2 combos. You need 3 combos or 4 combos, right? Like in that Supreme Fist fight, right? I needed like 5 or 6 combos, right? And that's where the 100% chance to interrupt really matters, right? Beat Zangief's not 100% chance, but you know what? He's so good. He sucks them in from super far. He hits rear, middle, front line, gives you 60% more damage. That's why he's the best, right? Unfortunately, he does not work for like SCA region. So, you know, we're gonna have to use like regular Honda instead. And they really don't have anything else in the SSS tier, so they might have to rely on like Cody or like Poison or even Charming Deadly if people even is aware that he can stun. But yeah, that's pretty much my tier list for this game, and I really hope you guys have learned something from this, and hope you guys can really push those chapters right now and get ahead a little further than you can at the moment, right? And just get those unlocks, get those discounts, get that idle rewards, and you know, just get stronger overall. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good night.